politically, I've asked you the legal question, politically speaking, as our politician, have they learned any lesson? Do you think this could be a deterrent to see that if this has happened before, another president could do it? If you misbehave in your state, or politician take the people for granted, and the point that they allow violence to erupt in their state, it could be the precedents that have happened now, and it could replay itself. Could it be a lesson, politically speaking?
Let me first and foremost answer the question starting from the American angle. Yeah, that had been my point, really, Seun. Remember, when the day the state of emergency was declared, you and I were on this program, and I said, constitutionally, the president can declare a state of emergency in Rivers without having to sack the duly elected, government in that state, because he was elected, with those government. But the question here is simple. You can still deploy, police to the state to maintain peace. You can deploy the DSS, you can deploy the army. They have been in Rivers in perpetuity. You can deploy them to those states to maintain peace without having to sack the democratically elected government. And then having to come to the politician, I do not think that the politicians have learned anything. Yeah, because today we've seen it happen in a PDP state, because you have, a former governor who has one leg in PDP, one leg in APC. And so, to that extent, it is easy. The crisis in Rivers State is also not different from the crisis, that we see across board politically. It's just that of Rivers State, was so heightened to the extent that you have House of Assembly members that the governor did not allow to sit. In fact, at some point, he claimed that he could only recognize them, by virtue of his green biro. And so, that's one would have expected that if this had happened in an APC state, for example, where you have this seemingly crisis between the House of Assembly and the governor, one would have expected that if we see that, and then we see a state of emergency, that's when I would say, yes, truly, there's fairness across board. But I do not think that the politicians have learned anything from what had happened in Rivers State, because if at all, sorry, quickly, Sean, if at all, we saw it happen in Plateau State, we saw it happen in Ekiti State, and then the way it was going, it was obvious that it was going to happen in Rivers. One would have expected that all the parties concerned would shake their sword, but they walk right into it. And so power really corrupt, and absolute power, they say corrupt, absolutely.